two massive scandals dragging into 2026 with endless delays, redaction, and elite power protecting the powerful. Now let me pose this question to the viewer. Which is worse? Jeffrey Epstein's abuse and trafficking empire, or Man City's alleged financial cheating empire? Who is actually worse? Let's break it down and you guys decide for yourself. Now let's talk about the delays and the cover-ups. When it comes to Epstein, the Department of Justice promised that they would release the Epstein files, only redacting the names of the victims. But when these Epstein files got released, they redacted so much more information than just the names of the victims. It's almost as if they're trying to protect the wealthy elites who were associated with Epstein. They don't want the public to know that Trump had any affiliation with Epstein, but we already know he had affiliation with Epstein. All the crimes committed on that island by wealthy individuals have been completely redacted. We don't know who did what on that island. We all know Epstein was a creepy PDF file, but why are you refusing to expose the other creepy PDF files who were associated to Epstein? Why do you want to protect these wealthy elites? Why don't you want to make that information public? With Man City, they are facing charges of their own. In February 2023, they were charged with 115 charges of breaking financial rules, with breaches to profitability and sustainability rules, as well as financial fair play. Within the Premier League, we have seen points deductions being handed out to Nottingham Forest as well as Everton for failure to comply with financial policies. But when it comes to Manchester City, they were charged in February 2023. It is now 2026. We are still yet to hear a verdict, and we have absolutely no indication that this team could be found guilty of their alleged crimes. Man City are definitely going to get away with it. Now, the similarities I'm beginning to see between Jeffrey Epstein and Manchester City is that they're both protected by wealthy elites, or the people in the Epstein files are actually protected by wealthy elites. Because when you look at Man City, why haven't they faced any punishment or any sort of verdict for their alleged charges? Why is it that the authorities of the Premier League were so swift in their punishment for Everton and Nottingham Forest by giving them points deductions, but for Man City, they've been unable, just not capable of being able to charge them, even though they've got mountains of evidence, 115 charges over 10 years. If a crime was committed 115 times and you get accused of committing that crime 115 times, surely there's no chance that you're innocent. Why has it been so difficult for them to get a verdict? Who is protecting Man City? We don't know who was protecting Jeffrey Epstein. There's so many conspiracy theories about that, but who is protecting Man City? This is where these two have a similarity. The only difference is Epstein was eventually charged and he had his day in court. Man City, it seems like they're never going to have their day in court, and if they do, they'll just end up being found not guilty. Now let us look at the scale of wrongdoing. Epstein was literally trafficking children. He had an elite network of politicians and royals, so we all know that he literally destroyed individuals' lives. But that's where it stops. It just stops at individuals. He ruined their lives. Yes, he did. It could be hundreds of people. But what about a football club that ruins an entire sport and league? Now, Man City, they have alleged financial doping, hiding sponsorship, misleading authorities over 9 years, having competitive unfairness, even though they don't have any direct human victims unless you want to count their ownership and maybe what they might have been doing in the UAE, allegedly. Man City didn't abuse any children directly. Man City didn't do anything to the scale that Epstein did to an individual. But what Man City did was they systematically ruined a league. Now, I'm just going to pose this question to the viewer. Which one do you think is worse? On one hand, this Jeffrey Epstein man, absolutely ruined lives forever. But on the other hand, Man City have allegedly ruined football competition and fairness for over a decade. You guys decide which is worse. Me, I'm just laying down the facts. You guys decide which is worse. Now let's dive into the elite protection and networks which are shielding both scandals, because this is where the parallels start to get undeniable. Jeffrey Epstein didn't operate in a vacuum. He built an impenetrable web of the world's most powerful people. We're talking billionaires, politicians including Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, and even royals like Prince Andrew. These connections allegedly brought him decades of impunity. I'm talking stuff like settlements and non-prosecution deals. And this sort of power and influence kept investigators at bay. Even now, in January 2026, the Department of Justice has released less than 1% of 2 million Epstein-related documents. And they want to tell us that the rest is, buried in phases of review and redaction. And this phase of review could drag on for weeks or even months. It's like the whole truth regarding the Epstein files is being locked behind layers of elite red tape, fueling endless conspiracy theories. Now let us flip this to Man City. You'll see a mirror image but on a global state-backed scale. Man City are owned by Sheikh Mansour of the Abu Dhabi royal family. Man City is not just a club. They are part of a multi-trillion-dollar sovereign wealth machine fueled by oil riches. Oh, but what about Man City's network? They have massive sponsorships like Etihad Airways, which is state-owned, and their sponsorship was allegedly inflated to dodge financial rules within the Premier League. And they're obviously tied to the City Football Group, which is now an empire spanning clubs worldwide. Look at that Girona deal. That is an intercompany transaction. This is why I'm telling you guys, Man City isn't just a football club. They are now a geopolitical power because they are backed by a literal government. When the Premier League tried to slap them with 115 charges back in 2023 for everything from, misleading authorities, hiding sponsorship values for over 9 years. What happened? All we've heard is endless delays. Apparently, a hearing was had in 2025, but as of yet, now, there's no verdict. Now, I don't know how true this is, but apparently rulings are expected later on during this year. But you can see that there is a parallel with the Epstein file delays as well as the Man City 115 charges delays. Where do these two parallel even more? They both thrive in untouchable networks and bend rules to bury accountability. Epstein's elites covered for his personal atrocities, and Man City's royals are covering up for financial doping. You can't tell me that Man City have not corrupted the whole sporting institution. This whole multi-club sporting model, every club is trying to do it now. You can see it with Chelsea and Strasbourg. Man City have Girona and the City Football Group. It's not bad enough that they're owned by the richest family in the world. They want to own multiple football clubs. They want to own everything that is football, and they don't want to see any sort of accountability being held for the alleged crimes they may have committed. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you personally. I have never made videos in this type of style and format, and I was inspired by this guy named Kaju DYT. I saw his video where he said, what could Messi stop the Mongolian army, or could the Mongolian army be able to handle Messi, Prime Messi? And I really liked that video, so I was like, hey, I like this idea. Let me use this idea to make this video. And in this video, I really just want to bring attention back to those 115 charges. We just saw Man City by Antoine Semenyo. Oh, do the 115 charges exist, guys? Are Man City going to have a verdict? What's going to happen in that case? So I really wanted to use this style in this format to say something absurd to bring attention to the fact that you guys, the Premier League, you still haven't given Man City a charge. You've deducted points from Everton, Nottingham Forest, all those guys. You still have not dealt with Man City. You've been investigating them for I don't know how many years. Their breaches are from 2009 all the way up until 2018. They have shady contracts with Roberto Mancini. We all know that these guys have been committing fraud on a football scale, but you don't want to punish them. What's stopping you guys from punishing them? And I don't want to see any rubbish like, oh, you guys are going to have a £100 million fine. We want to see those titles which they got. We want to see them stripped, and we want to see this team relegated. That's why I made this video, because I want us to have this conversation. I hope you guys could see the irony in everything I'm saying. Even though there are many parallels, you obviously cannot compare footballing fraud to human trafficking. Like, they're not even in the same ballpark. But I was just using Epstein as, someone who is kind of low-key trending right now. I don't know if he's still trending. The Epstein files release was kind of underwhelming. But I'm using Epstein and I'm comparing him to Man City, and I'm drawing that line in that comparison so that we can have this conversation about when are these 115 charges going to be released. That's why I made this video. Also, another shout out again to Kaju DYT, because I like this format. I think it's a really smart format, and I might make more future videos like this. If you guys actually enjoy this video, I'll make more videos like this, and we'll see what other absurd comparisons we can make. It doesn't have to always be a statement about the 115 charges. In the comments, you guys can let me know what other absurd comparisons I could make. You know, could Ronaldo be able to handle the Third Reich or something like that? You know, would Messi be able to stop colonizations? Things in those ballpark, you know. I think I could make a video about that. But yeah, all credit goes to Kadru DYT. He is the one who created the format. I made this video. But yeah, guys, we need to have those 115 charges addressed. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hype this video. But subscribe if you're an Arsenal fan, because this is an Arsenal fan channel. So subscribe if you're an Arsenal fan. But with that being said, guys, hope you have a lovely day. Peace.